anyone's wondering why I'm wearing this massive poofy jacket, it's not actually mine. It belongs to our Airbnb host who had it hanging in her closet and she said I could use it. I like the 80s Arizona vibe I got going on today. Gaurav is braving the cold without a jacket, but my nice big poofy jacket, I'm kind of digging it. So let's go. We're Katie and Gaurav. At the end of December 2019, we set out on a 10-day road trip to explore parts of the US we'd never been to before. In our last vlog, we drove along the border from McAllen to Del Rio, Texas, then further west for some bear spotting in Big Bend National Park, before leaving the state for New Mexico. Let's pick up where we left off, shall we?
Hey guys, good morning. So we're just starting our day 4 road trip. We had a lovely stay at Days Inn Hotel. Motel.
New Mexico.
And now we're on to our Airbnb ranch that Katie's booked up for the New Year's. We're really looking forward to that. But along the way, we'll hit a fair few national parks. So we're actually on our way to a place called White Sands National Park. And it's a beautiful drive already. We're at the foothills of the Oregon mountains. I'll just show you guys what it sort of looks like so you can see. They look beautiful. And it's actually quite a bit chilly outside as well.
It's 0 degrees, it's freezing today. But yeah, I mean, like, the scenery has just been stunning and it's been really amazing. It's a side of Texas I really hadn't thought about. I lived there for like 4 years and I never really thought of Texas as a great place to travel, but this has definitely changed my mind, and now experiencing New Mexico, we're having a really great time. Some long days of driving, but today I think we've got we've got about 7 hours of driving ahead of us, but we're getting an early start, so it's not even 9 o'clock. We're gonna hit the national park, and then we're heading up closer towards the Petrified Forest, which is another national park, and we're really excited about seeing all that.
So we'll keep you guys posted. Next stop will be White Sands National Park.
Here we go. So we're in White Sands National Park, and as you can see, you can tell where it gets its name from. It's just basically we're surrounded by tons of white sand, some interesting plants. I guess there's like a certain shrubbery here that the Navajos would use to like dye baskets yellow and things like that. So there's like a lot of interesting little factoids and tidbits on the boardwalk across the sand, and you're actually allowed to walk on the sand, so you don't have to stay on the path necessarily. At least we think so, because there's people off the path, but it's just really beautiful. The weather's great, it's not too cold, and we're just really happy. We feel very privileged to be here today. Do you know why the sand is white?
The sand's supposedly white because of gypsum. There's some sort of chemical explanation for it, but yeah, they were explaining how the sands became white, and it's because of some chemical decomposition of and subsequent formation of gypsum. Don't ask me much more. It's about 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and we're about an hour or so away from our host's Airbnb location. And we have a very different scenery today. It's obviously snowed around here and we moved closer up. We're about 7,000 feet above sea level, so it does get colder here. And as you can see, there's like ice all around, and it looks beautiful. We're about to leave New Mexico and enter Arizona in about 10 minutes or so. And yeah, it's been very beautiful drive through from the morning in Las Crocas.
It's very remote. All the towns are very small, like a couple hundred people maybe. So it's kind of interesting to see like some of them like half abandoned towns out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so it's been an interesting drive. And we got about an hour to go. So we've been at it a long time today, but we're almost there.
Yep. Ring. On day 4 of our road trip, we drove over 400 miles across New Mexico from Las Cruces to a remote cabin in St. John's in Arizona. It's day 5 of our road trip.
The first day that we're not doing a lot of driving. We're staying in an Airbnb today and tomorrow, and we are just driving nearby. So the Petrified Forest, which is another national park, is about 20 minutes from where we're staying. So we're headed there right now.
And Katie, I know Katie just said it's an Airbnb, but make no mistake, we're living in a ranch, and it's been an amazing experience.
It's really remote.
There's no signal, the Wi-Fi is really weak, so we've sort of been disconnected a little bit. Plus there's no light pollution around, so in the night when it's clear, which it was last evening, this view of the sky is just mind-numbingly beautiful.
And we kept waking up in the middle of the night because there's like a window right by the bed, so we kept waking up to look at the stars. So we didn't really sleep a lot because we kept like waking up to look at them. They're so beautiful. And we have a national park pass, which we got yesterday.
So essentially, if you want to go to national parks, there's like an entrance fee in most of them.
Each
the
one
national parks.
charges entrance fee.
And the costs can sort of add up. So what we did was essentially we got the Big Bend National Park entrance. It was about $30. And at that point, we didn't know about the existence of this annual pass, which costs you $80, and it gives you a year's worth of entries into all the national parks. Obviously, there are some exceptions which are more privatized. You can't get in there, but otherwise, you get access to all the national parks for free. It obviously is under one person's name. In this case, it's Katie. You can add another person to it, and then the way it works is you can bring in. You got to show your ID, and the person either driving the car and all the passengers within the car, or your mode of transport, or one member and 4 other adults are allowed entry on the card. So I think that's great value.
And they also will prorate it. So for example, we bought the pass to Big Bend without knowing about this multi-park pass, and they actually discounted the $30 we had already paid and charged us only $50 more. So you won't have to pay $80 on top of like whatever amount you paid for the park you've already been to. They just prorate whatever you've been to, as long as you have the receipt, and then just charge you like whatever's left. So it's a really great deal, and they were very nice about it. So yeah, so definitely worth it if you're planning on visiting like multiple parks. Yeah, and
all right, hope you find that useful. And
I'm going to show you the Petrified Forest next. But apparently, like, all this wood that you see around you, it's like 250 million years old. So like the expanse of time is pretty hard to grasp, I think, in like our place in it, and how much of a tiny little blip in time human beings really are, you know?
I mean, just look at this, right? it looks like it's rock, but it's actually, so what they say happened was, this used to be like a swamp area, and they had like massive trees, as you can see there, and sediments have basically seeped in to the trunks of trees, and they've formed one whole unit. So you can see like what looks like the bark of a tree, but it's actually all solid rock, and there's sediments, and there's different colors because there's different sort of minerals inside there, and it's just incredible to imagine that these are 250 million years old. I think it's just humbling experience, if nothing else.
So we're at what's called Newspaper Rock, and the reason for that is that down below you can't see it because it's too far away, hence the binoculars are here, but there's actually petroglyphs, so like drawings on the rocks made by like some ancient group of people, and it's really cool to see. And this national park is definitely very different from the other ones we've been to. It's a lot of nature, obviously, but also it's kind of giving you this surreal experience where you feel like you've stepped into another time and even onto another planet, another world completely. And especially like when you're walking through the Badlands, it just feels really surreal and really different. So we're enjoying it so far. And basically you just take a drive through the park. There are signs everywhere telling you like where to pull off to see different important sites. So that's what we're doing, and I think we're about halfway through right now.
This is Interstate 40, and a lesser known fact is Route 66 used to actually go through Petrified Forest, which is right across there, and I think in the 1930s or 1920s it was replaced by Interstate 40 instead.
Route 66 is actually pretty much closed down now. It's a really iconic highway that kind of extended from California, I believe, across the United States.
To LA.
To where?
California all the way to Chicago, I think.
California to Chicago. And now pretty much all that's left of it is like these telephone poles are kind of a marker of where Route 66 was. And then there's like an old car up ahead kind of marking where Route 66 ran through. And then behind us we have Interstate 40, I think, which runs parallel along part of the route where Route 66 used to run. So now I guess anymore, we actually thought that you could do a road trip along Route 66, but that's actually not possible.
I mean, there are parts which are still accessible. So this is one stretch of old Route 66. I'm going to show you some parts along the way.